Okay. That's better. Maybe. My hair looks kind of nonsense, but what can you do?
Here's what it is.
So today, we're having the first of a new segment called, we're not sure, again, as per usual. Also, we don't really know what exists. But maybe it's going to be called Wining and Whining, or Whining and Crying. I don't know what's out there. We know Wine About It's out there with Matt Belisai. If you haven't seen that, it's pretty good. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a similar concept in we're going to drink wine and complain about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, more on the name once we do some more research. But today, we are drinking Quarantine Pinot Noir from Knocking Point Wines. You cannot see this at all. Trust us, that's where it's from. 100% of the profits from this wine will go to current global response charities, organizations, and grassroots efforts. And Ashton and Mila Kutcher, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, it seemed weird to call her Mila Kutcher.
Yeah, it did.
Anyway, they're the ones that came up with this wine. And Knocking Point was actually founded by Stephen Amell from Arrow and other things, and someone else. And they kind of partner up with different actors and actresses to have them be kind of the taste maker for the wine, so to speak. So the Kutchers wanted to do a wine to benefit some charities that have been, or some things that are helping with the global pandemic and whatnot. So hence the quarantine. Obviously, we are somewhat out of quarantine to a certain extent, but we are going to try this wine. And I know you're not supposed to chill red wine, but I did anyway because we like chilled wine for the most part. So this is not chilled. So we're going to try it first, and we'll see how it tastes. We'll just pour a little bit.
Yeah. And with our wine, we're going to whine about things that characters do, whether they be on TV or movies or books or whatever, that are really annoying.
Yes.
So.
And it's all tied together because this wine came from TV stars and a winery founded by TV stars. So hey, it's all TV.
Yep.
So
Try it. You fancy
yeah,
Italian swirl?
Yeah. This is how we learned how to taste wine
Regular
in Italy.
American swirl.
Italy swirl. Cheers.
Cheers. I like it.
Yeah, me too.
It's good.
It's very full-bodied wine terms.
Of all the wine that we've had, I still don't feel like I'm good at wine tasting. Like,
This tastes like red wine.
yeah, this is a red.
Yes.
Tastes like a red.
It does.
Like a not super dry red. Now I can't tell if it's super dry or more on the sweet side. This one's not super dry, but it's really not sweet either.
No.
So it's a good red wine for me because I don't like really, really dry. But I also have gotten to where really, really sweet is too. I still like Moscato white wines like that, but
Yeah.
you know.
I feel like it has almost an aftertaste that, like, it gets drier the longer it lingers in your mouth. Because it doesn't have a sweet, it's sweetest at the beginning, but it's still not sweet. And then once, the aftertaste is pretty dry too, but it's good and it smells really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells like wine, but it smells really good.
But it's good.
And now,
The chilled version.
it doesn't say what it's supposed to taste like. Spread the word, not the virus. Totes do that. Also on the front it says toasting to blank, and I guess you could fill this in. Obviously, we're toasting to first responders and all the people that had to work the whole time throughout this whole entire crisis, like grocery store people and delivery people and all those types of people, because y'all keeping the ship running and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
So cheers to you guys as well.
Cheers.
Well, that tastes completely different.
Yeah, it does. It's weird.
And now for something completely different.
It's got a whole... The cold really does something to it.
Yeah. I put this in to chill yesterday, so it's been chilling for about 24 hours probably. And I know one winemaker that I've had a conversation with, that sounded real bougie, said that the sugars intensify, so the longer you leave something in the refrigerator, the more sweet it will taste.
Yeah. It almost is a little sweeter in a way. It's not super sweet or anything.
No, but it is less. It doesn't have the same rich punch in the beginning, and it is sweeter on the back end.
Yeah, you can almost taste a more fruity.
Yeah.
Not quite. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know.
Yeah.
Flavor than in the first when it's not chilled. They're both good, just different.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird.
It's weird what chilling can do.
Yep.
Which we've learned.
Yes.
So, we could pour us up a little bit more here, maybe.
Well,
start.
Which would you prefer? I'm going to get the chilled. I like it better.
Yeah, give me some chilled.
This is a lot more.
And now we're ready to start complaining.
Yes, we are.
We're very good at complaining about things.
Maybe too good.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to fictional worlds. There's, I guess because unlike the real world, things could just happen. Obviously, the writers are making this happen.
Right.
And that's what makes it irritating sometimes. It's not like it's just, something randomly happened to these people. They're making it happen, and they're making them make these decisions. And that's what is really makes fictional things more frustrating sometimes than real life situations. Because in real life, I'm like, okay, I understand. I can understand. You didn't plan for this. Something crazy happened. Even if it's annoying, but
yes,
not when somebody wrote it to be this way.
Yeah. And I think so. What happened to me was I was watching Jessica Jones last week. This is what inspired this segment, honestly. And I'll kind of kick it off because I know part of this is I know that certain things that I'm going to complain about are plot points to create drama. And without them, obviously, it wouldn't be as much of a story.
Mm-hmm.
But some things just make no sense because rarely do they result in anything further. So, okay, for instance, I'm going to go ahead and start with a couple here from Jessica Jones. So, Jessica Jones is all the time sneaking around in places that she shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't ever wear gloves. So I think your fingerprints are everywhere.
Yeah.
And especially, I've been watching season 3, and Mallory hasn't watched season 3, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But the villain in season 3 is pretty intelligent, and so at one point she breaks into the apartment of the villain, and I think, bruh, like, why do you not have gloves on when you're going through all this stuff? Because this person would think of something like that. Now, that person, spoiler alert, never did think of anything like that, but at the same time, I thought, you wear gloves. And then also, their phones are always on silent in everyday life for the most part because they don't ring, they vibrate when somebody calls them or whatever. Mm-hmm. But whenever they're in an apartment, they're always got the volume on because you can hear the camera clicking.
Yeah.
Which I know is probably more to tell the viewers at home that they're taking pictures because we can't just see it, you know, but at the same time, I think, first of all, someone could hear the camera clicking, or what if you were to get a phone call right now?
Yeah.
Busted.
You would be.
So, there's those two things.
Yeah, that is, I will agree. People do go into on various shows, will go places they're not supposed to be, and sometimes, depending, they'll have them do stuff like, oh, I'm going to wipe it down, or I'm going to not touch it with my hands. But a lot of times they don't think about that stuff. And I thought, you know, if this was real, somebody was really trying to figure out what happened here, I don't think this is going to...
No.
They're going to find some of your hair. I mean, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that kind of relates to, or one of my things is, when the characters don't figure out something that's obvious to the audience. When they almost make the character seem dumb to me, because it's super obvious if they're trying to figure something out and we know what it is. And they just sit there like la-ti-da, like they don't get the clues, like they don't want them to put it together until the end. This happens in books a lot, where there's a mystery. Where they're like, oh, we don't want them to reveal it till the very end, but we know who it is because we're not stupid and we picked up on the clues. And it's like the clues they're too obvious to me a lot of times. That when the character doesn't get it, it's like the writer's trying to throw you off, but you're not thrown off. And it just makes their character look like an idiot, especially if that's their job. If their job is to solve mysteries and they're not solving it.
Right.
But the audience is like, halfway through we already know who the killer is or whatever. That's frustrating to me.
Yeah, I agree. And another thing that's frustrating to me is on crime type things, when, I know this is terrible, but when they don't make sure the bad guy's dead.
Yeah.
Really, horror movies, horror shows, double tap. Y'all ain't seen Zombieland or what? I mean...
Headshot. Okay?
Yeah. Headshot.
Come on.
I mean, you know, look, if the punishment doesn't fit the crime, then don't kill them. But at the same time, if killing is warranted, make sure they're dead. Because every time... people leave people for dead. They never are dead. Not one time have they ever been dead.
They'll shoot them and then they're like messing around with something nearby, and all of a sudden the killer's like, come back, and they're gonna...
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, I know that's for drama to a certain extent, but at the same time...
Yeah.
Make sure they're dead. Especially it annoys me when it's somebody that the audience really super hates, or somebody that's had it coming for a while and they don't kill them just to like drag out the storyline instead of just finishing it up and moving on to something else.
Yeah. That's another, not really the thing that characters do, just a general annoying thing is when storylines are dragged out way longer than they should be.
Yeah.
But another kind of similar to that, in a way, is when characters make terrible decisions, like make really dumb decisions when they're in a bad situation. This happens a lot in horror movies, and I know it's for effect, but somebody will be chasing them, and they'll, instead of, running outside and trying to find help, they like run up the stairs. Or, there's probably less, a little bit less dumb, but when they make really terrible decisions that everyone knows is terrible, and you're in a moment, you don't know what you would necessarily do when you were in a certain situation, but still, it always annoys me when they do really stupid things like that.
Yeah, and like that, it always annoys me when they do something in self-defense and either accidentally kill or maim someone, and then they try to cover it up because no one would believe them. Well, how do you know that? Why don't you just call the law and be like, hey, this happened to me, and so consequently we ended up accidentally killing this person, because 98% of the time they also have a witness.
Yeah.
So
it's, why are you're making more trouble for yourself.
Yeah.
This happened on several shows that we've watched, where I feel like people are keeping, and this is another just generally annoying thing, is when people keep secrets that somebody else is going to find out. No matter if it's about something like that, or if it's just something like you had an affair and you're like, I'm not telling anybody, you have a good chance to come clean, things might not be so bad, but they just keep holding on to it, and things just keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Like, that was pretty much the whole plot of Pretty Little Liars, is let's not tell anybody things until they get super, super bad, and then we'll still try to be like, I don't know what's going on.
yeah.
Like, just tell the truth up front, and it probably wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah. And another annoying thing is when they decide to divulge the secret in close proximity to someone that doesn't need to know the secret.
Yeah.
This happens all the time. First of all, half the time, well, when people find out the secret, it's always because, like, they're at a party or something, and they decide at that moment to tell somebody without checking every possible scenario that other person you're talking about could be there.
Oh, yeah. That happens all. People overhear, people walk up, and I think, if you were going to tell something that serious, why would you not make sure no one could hear you? This literally happens on, like, every show ever.
Or just tell it in a completely different situation.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait till you're at somebody's party and be like, by the way, I slept with her boyfriend.
Yeah. No. Like, I gotta tell you something. I'll tell you later. That's what we do.
Or text it.
If we think of something somewhere, I'm like, I'll tell you later. I don't want, somebody to accidentally hear it.
Right. Yeah.
But that's similar. All of these are kind of somewhat related. But it annoys me when this happens in almost every Hallmark movie, in every rom-com, and every kind of movie like that where there's a romance. There's some kind of misunderstanding that could be cleared up if they would just listen to each other.
Yes.
Somebody does something, somebody takes it the wrong way, but will not listen to an explanation.
Yes.
And then the whole time they're having this issue because you just wouldn't listen to what somebody, and then oh, that's really what it was? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I saw what happened though.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
But
they inevitably walk in on the part where the kiss started, not the part where they pushed them away.
They were like, no. But the whole thing, the big misunderstanding.
Yes.
That kind of drives me nuts. I'm used to it in some movies, but at the same time, I just roll my eyes every time where I think, if you had just let this person explain something to you,
yeah,
you could have avoided so much. And that's what they always say. They're like, oh, we could have,
yeah,
things didn't have to be this way. I'm like, yeah, if you weren't stupid and would just shut up for a minute and listen.
Yeah, it also drives me crazy when, kind of the same deal, when people just assume they don't give a reason at all. And so they're just, because like they saw them kissing their ex even though it was a total mistake or accident or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, forget it. I don't, we're not good for each other, whatever, I'm going to leave. And the other person just thinks, okay, well, it's probably not because they saw me kissing my ex. It's probably a totally unrelated decision. So they don't say anything. They just think, okay, well, I'll let you go then.
Yeah, I guess there must be something I did wrong.
Yeah.
No. Find out what happened.
They don't.
No. And no, they're like, I'm not going to tell them. That happened on a show that we watched recently where the character got dumped the other character because of a reason they didn't even talk to him about. And some of the other characters were like, you didn't even tell them?
Yeah.
Like, what? And I thought, yeah, why didn't you just tell them?
Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't be a problem. Who knows, you know?
Yeah.
Just talk about it. Another thing that annoys me is when characters are somehow suddenly an expert at something that they previously didn't know anything about, or they have very limited knowledge of. And the best example I can think of was on Daredevil, and they had a client who spoke Spanish, and what was her name, Karen?
Yeah.
Karen was like, oh, well, I took Spanish in high school, I can talk to her, and was sitting there fluently talking to this woman. And I thought, I took Spanish in high school too, but guess what? I can't talk to anybody. I can say, hello, where's the bathroom in Spanish? I thought, there ain't no way you took a semester of Spanish and you can fluently talk to this lady.
Yeah. Yeah, and in that vein, it always drives me crazy. And I admit, I stole this from a list. I looked up a list that other people find annoying about TV characters, but I thought this is so true. Whenever anybody uses a computer, they never use a mouse. They're all a bunch of hackers.
Yeah.
Just like typing everything to open a Word document. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I can't do anything.
Yeah, or some, they just be people who somebody's like, oh, I'll show you how to do it, and then suddenly they're just like, they're the best at it. I'm
Yep.
like, that is not how this works.
No.
And there always just conveniently happens to be somebody who is a hacker.
Yeah.
Or who knows enough to become a hacker.
Yeah.
I'm like, not everybody knows a hacker.
Nobody knows hackers. I know no hackers.
Yeah. I'm like, I work in technology, and I don't think I even know any hackers.
We don't know any hackers.
So...
Although I guess if we did know hackers, we wouldn't tell it. But obviously from the surprise vehemence we just did, we obviously don't really know any hackers at all.
Another one I've got on that I wrote down was when people are like constantly in doubt despite all the evidence to the contrary.
Yes.
So despite everything that's happened, and I know this happens a lot in real life too, but you've got all this good stuff, but they still think, oh, well, it's still not going to work. So-and-so still doesn't love me despite the fact that all this stuff has happened. I'm like,
Yeah.
just...
They've literally been, in some cases probably, literally to hell and back for you. Bless you.
Thanks.
She doesn't have coronavirus, we're pretty sure. Not that sneezing's a symptom, but
Yep.
it could be. Don't sneeze in my general direction. Alcohol kills inside germs, right?
Yeah.
Nick Miller!
Do you have anything? I have some more. Do you have another one?
Yeah, no, I definitely have some more. So, the flip side of the earlier thing about having a super secret conversation when the person that it's about is there is when people have super secret conversations one room over from the room that they're in, and there are like no walls and doors, but somehow no one ever hears them.
Yeah. Nobody knows.
It's the reverse. Yeah, that always...
Didn't work.
No, it didn't. But I tried. Oh well.
Oh Lord. Oh. I don't know why I'm sneezing. Maybe I'm allergic to the wine.
Oh no!
It's fine. It's good. I can sneeze a little bit.
Yeah.
I did go outside today, so
The pollen.
the pollen is a killer. That's the thing around here is having coronavirus in the springtime is you tend to go, when you go outside and you stay outside for quite a while, the pollen's going to affect you and start making you,
Yeah.
messing with your sinuses and making you hoarse, and you're like, is there something wrong with me, or is it just springtime?
Yeah, y'all, our cars are yellow. And we don't drive yellow cars. We
No.
both have gray cars, and they're yellow.
And you can wash them, and the next day,
There
you
ain't
might
no
as
point.
well not have washed it.
I just wait till it's over.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Pollen's a killer.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, another thing that I have is when people who either are vigilantes or used to be vigilantes decide they're not going to be vigilantes anymore and get all judgy about people who still are vigilantes. I just said,
Oliver.
yeah, Oliver. Knocking Point Wine brought to you by Stephen Amell, who's the biggest. Oliver was the biggest one of these. But then also, which this is sort of a spoiler for Jessica Jones a little bit, but you know you saw that Trish was training.
Yeah.
And she had gotten powers. So in season 3, eventually, of course, Jessica is all like, Trish is doing the wrong thing because Trish is doing like the same freaking thing Jessica's been doing for all this time.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, especially on Arrow, that drove me insane because I know there's a right way and a wrong way, and people think they're doing the right thing, but anybody who's being a vigilante, honestly, thinks they're doing the right thing. Now, part of them probably are not, but they all think they are, just like you thought you were.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not saying that there's not a line to be drawn of telling people or trying to help people be better or make the right decisions, but it just irritates me when people decide not to do that and then they think, well, you don't need it. Nobody needs to do it. Don't ever do it. It's terrible when you've been doing it for 8 freaking years. Oliver.
Mm-hmm. Pot, kettle.
But yeah.
One of my the other two I wrote down are somewhat similar to each other. And that's when people try to be a martyr unnecessarily. And when people decide that they need to keep things from each other to protect each other.
Yes.
And those are where I'm thinking, you think, it's usually when a character thinks they have to do something. They think they're doing the right thing to protect someone else. So they lie to them and they think, well, I've got to do this crazy thing, even though really they don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And if they just tell the truth, things would probably, kind of related to the other, misunderstanding. If you would just talk to people instead of thinking you have to protect somebody. I can't tell them because, I got to protect their feelings. I'm like, no, you could avoid lots of problems if you would just tell them.
Yeah. Because inevitably, when they find out, they will be not only hurt about whatever you were protecting them from, they will also be mad at you and not trust you anymore because you didn't tell them for all this whole time.
Yeah. It just causes more problems. Every time characters decide to keep secrets, I think, and I know that some of it is for the plot. You have to keep a secret. But let's be real. Nothing stays a secret.
No.
People are going to tell the secret, especially in fictional worlds. No secrets will be kept.
No.
And I guess I've just seen so much of it over time, and so many characters who think they have to be this hero and they have to sacrifice everything, that it's just annoying at this point.
Yeah.
At first it was, you could understand it. Nowadays I just think, just stop.
Just tell the secret, bruh.
Just let people help you.
Yeah.
You can't do this alone, man.
No. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
That's what they do on the High School Musical, right?
I would sing it, but I don't know if we'll get copyright checked for singing it. Does that happen? Maybe it only works if you play it. Maybe you can sing your heart out. Well, people do covers. Surely you can sing.
I don't know. It's a fine line.
I don't know anything.
I think.
I don't know the rules, but I know people do covers a lot on YouTube. Maybe you just can't play the actual song.
Well, we might be in trouble then because obviously I look just like Vanessa Hudgens and just did that clap thing.
Uh-oh.
We're going to be shut down.
Thank you I'm gonna cut that part out.
Yep, cut it out. So these are some kind of simple things that I'll just run through them quickly because they're not really that super crazy. They're just a little bit annoying, but people always wake up looking perfect.
Oh yeah.
Don't matter what's happened to them. They wake up full makeup, hair fixed. And too, like, they'll sleep with people and still look great and, like, doesn't even bother them. They don't feel the need to go take a shower or anything. Like,
Yeah. I'm like, listen,
what?
when I sleep by myself, my hair looks terrible. Like, I don't understand that. You could have had to spend this whole night with somebody else and your hair still looks fine.
Yeah. Well, they got better product than we do.
That's true.
No product.
Their hair looks better when they wake up than mine does right now.
Yeah, same. Also, whenever they go out to eat or whatever, they never pay their bill. For the most part. Sometimes they do, but for the most part, they just all leave or we just assume they did, I guess.
Mm.
But then, now this is something that is kind of relative and annoying. I also found some of these on some lists, but I thought, yeah, y'all got a point. These are real. People hardly ever lock their doors when they go in their place, their house, their apartment, their anything. And lots of these people live in crime-ridden areas, especially vigilantes.
Mm-hmm.
I watch a lot of vigilante shows. But sometimes they don't even close their door.
That annoys me when people don't close the door.
I know that just...
I'm like, close your door. You want to know what, though? Somewhat related note, the other day I was watching this interview with Simu Lee.
Mm-hmm.
If I said that right, I'm so sorry if I did not. And he was saying that he lives in Canada, and he said that he doesn't lock his doors a lot of times. And I thought, why do people not everywhere not lock their door? I mean, even if you think that you're in a safe neighborhood,
Yeah.
I still always lock the door.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, that was just some knowledge for you.
Well, man,
He's
he
probably
put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, he told people he don't lock his doors. It ain't like I'm like,
Just so you know, I met Simu Lee, and he said he doesn't lock his doors. So if you know where he lives. Well, he's about to be a superhero in Marvel, so.
yeah, he's going to start locking his damn doors because people are going to be looking for his house.
Yeah. They'll be seeing you, Simu. Also, side note, if you haven't watched Kim's Convenience, you definitely should. We just finished watching it, and I'm probably about to start watching it again because it was that awesome.
It's so good. If we had been really watching it, or had, I guess, because we didn't even mention it when we did our top 10 TV shows episode.
Yeah.
But we should have. Well, I guess we didn't really know as much then at that point. But now we've watched the whole thing that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And we really love it. So it's probably going to be up there, at least one of my favorite comedies because it's really funny.
Yeah, it is really funny and really heartwarming. And I don't really know of anything they do that's annoying, but probably some of the misunderstanding things. But I know some of this stuff, look,
funny.
and we're allowed to be hypocrites too because it's fiction.
Yeah.
Some things we know are for plot points and we know that it's to drag out drama, but some of these things are just ridiculous at this point.
Yeah. So it's the ones that happen, I guess, that happen over and over and over on everything or what
Yeah.
really get to me. The misunderstanding thing kills me.
Tale as old as time.
When I just think, or when people, I guess one of the, when people make those decisions or make really stupid decisions or can't see what's obvious.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most annoying, but all the rest of this is pretty annoying. Like you were saying about the doors, I've also noticed that a lot of people don't say goodbye when they're talking on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
They never say bye when they hang up.
Who does that?
Yeah, I'm like, most everybody says bye. People,
Yeah.
I always think when people just hang up and don't say bye to me, I'm like, well, bye.
Yeah,
To myself.
same. Me too. It's like a total jerk move to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we say bye when we hang up from doing video calls.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll be like, okay, see you later. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So, I don't understand people.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have anything else on your list?
I don't know.
I've covered everything on my list too, so there's probably way more annoying things we didn't think of. So if you think of any others, you can let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Like
there-
Blake Shelton. In the comments.
In the comments. Also, if you haven't already, like and subscribe below.
Mhm.
Tell your friends about us. If they like anything in the world, they will like our show.
It doesn't matter anything else about you. You will just like the show.
If this is your first time watching us, let me just say, we don't always drink and complain. Sometimes we drink and say positive things. And we don't always drink. I don't know if our show's rated PG-13 now or not. Probably.
Yeah. It's not for... I went ahead and marked it not for kids, just to be safe. Because if you have it, there's an option. You have to say, is this for kids or not?
Well, listen. Some of the stuff that is for kids is not for kids. Because one time, we were watching our friend's kid watch YouTube TV, and this lady was in the shower pouring milk all over herself.
There are weird videos out there, guys. You've probably seen some of them, but that was a weird one.
That was they were teaching about colors, supposedly. It was, no.
I don't know how it was allowed, because I think it might have been YouTube Kids. It
was, yeah.
It was some weird stuff.
It was weird.
But
anyway.
Maybe in one video we can talk about, you're going to have to get up to speed though. We can talk about other YouTube stuff. I have been into YouTube for over 10 years, but this one hasn't really watched that much on YouTube. I'm on there every single day pretty much watching other people's videos. And
I watch music videos. And
I watch those sometimes, but
I watch some good news, and sometimes I watch lip sync. I watch Dr. Pimple Popper.
I don't like that.
Well, we've already done that episode of What Do You Watch on YouTube, because I ran through my list. Just kidding. Mal watches 800 other things.
I'm subscribed to a lot of different channels. I have a variety. I follow travel channels. I follow interior design channels. I follow chiropractic channels. That was my newest thing. I got into following a bunch of chiropractors. This is irrelevant to this whole video.
Things that are annoying about when vloggers go off on tangents about stuff that ain't the topic. Anyway, thanks for watching our McWorld. I don't even know if we said what you were watching before.
We were terrible at that.
This is Wining and Whining, or
Wining and Whining.
and Crying, or...
A totally different name.
It's the opposite of picking and grinning.
We will have more episodes like this, but where we will whine about other things, not just TV shows or annoying things that fictional people do. So stay tuned for more whining, but also we do other videos. We have lists, we have discussions, we have a book club, we have all kinds of things.
And if there's something else you want to see, look, we're sellouts. Tell us in the comments and we'll make a video about that.
Just let us know and we'll do it.
Maybe.
If we ever get to travel again, we are going to have some travel related videos and content. We may have some based on stuff we've already done.
Yeah.
But at the current moment, we're not able to go anywhere. But eventually we will, and we're thinking about doing some vlogs on that, so...
In the meantime, check out our blog, ourmctravels.com.
Check us out. Get ready for your next trip.
And if you have any suggestions, send them to ZWM Box 350, Boston, Mass. 02134. Just kidding, don't send it there. That was Zoom, but we still know the address.
But what do you reckon? Do you reckon that post office box still exists? And if so, who owns it?
Let's send them a letter.
We should send them a letter. Let's send a letter to Zoom and see what happens.
Next episode, sending it to Zoom.
That's right. All right. We gotta finish up.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, damn. I didn't know we were chugging it like that.
Yep. That's right.
And another.
Fill it up, bartender.
Okay.